India can get oil with a single sign. Yes, you have heard right. This is not the comment of any Indian minister. This is the comment of the Pakistani Petroleum Minister who was sitting in a news when the total anchor asked that what are the options that Pakistan has in the crisis situation like this is the moment right now where every country is totally feeling the heat of the USA, Israel and Iran war. Because of the blockade at the Strait of Hormuz, all those countries are feeling the heat, but very few countries are totally managing this crisis very well. And India has been emerged as one of those countries who are kind of managing this situation and this crisis very well without having any kind of big dent or any kind of big impact on their economy and especially on their people, while controlling all those kind of other factors like inflation and also the price reduction in the kind of petrol and diesel, especially from the crude oil and the gas as well. He was pointing out at all those kind of vulnerabilities and the kind of crisis that Pakistan was facing. When the anchor asked the kind of Pakistani oil minister that what are the options that Pakistan has, he has totally simply called out that we don't have reserve for the kind of petroleum and crude oil for even 1 day. Can you imagine? This is the situation of the Pakistan, and it is totally being said by sitting Pakistani kind of oil and petroleum minister. This is not a comment which is being passed by any Indian minister who are totally bragging out or who is totally bragging out and totally exaggerating the things that India is doing. This is the comment which have been come from the kind of Pakistani minister, and also in contrast of that, he has also pointed out while calling that India has the kind of strategic petroleum reserve for the kind of next 60 or kind of 70 days in the reserves, and Pakistan does not even have for 1 day. So how can Pakistan totally kind of manage this situation? India can get as much of those kind of fuels it wanted in a single sign. What it has to do is the simple is that kind of doing one signature from its petroleum minister, and all those kind of supply gaps of fuels and the gas will be fulfilled in just 1 day, whereas Pakistan has to totally import all those things. And even more kind of the grave situation is that Pakistan is under the kind of IMF program. Yes, you have heard right. And because of that, Pakistan kind of policy implementation and all those kind of room for kind of easing the inflation for the people of the Pakistan has become very much low and very much low margin. This is the kind of situation that he was totally kind of deciphering to all those kind of people of the Pakistan and also to the international media as well. Now, if you talk about the kind of current crisis that are going on in the whole world, where fuel prices have gone more than kind of $120 per barrel, can you imagine? The kind of Iran was dreaming to kind of get the oil prices above more than kind of $200 per barrel, but it is looking like that 200 per barrel dollar is kind of very much a big dream, but they will surely manage to get the kind of oil prices more than 150 barrel dollar at least, looking at the crisis and all those things that they have created, where Mr. Donald Trump has been stuck at the Strait of Hormuz and he's totally in the position of not knowing what he has to do. Sometimes he cancelled the kind of delegation trip to Pakistan, and sometimes he totally called out to kind of continue the blockade over the Strait of Hormuz. So these are the things which are totally being made where all those things are happening. If we talk about the India has been managing all those things very well, and India has come out one of those countries whose kind of vessels and ships have passed through the Strait of Hormuz amid this crisis in the most number, and that's why India has been able to do all those kind of things. But if we talk about all those kind of situation in a kind of very much overall ways, then India is not also in a very much comfortable position like China is. Recently today a news has come in which they have totally described that 4 or 5 liters of hikes are going to be happen in the kind of petrol or diesel prices. So this is not a good situation for the kind of citizens and most important common people of the India. What it is going to do is to kind of increasing the kind of inflation rate. Also, if you talk about the kind of gas, the commercial gas prices have been increased by the kind of Indian government more than 950 kind of rupees per cylinders. Can you imagine? This kind of hike is totally being seen in all those kind of commercial cylinders. But if you talk about the kind of domestic cylinders, it has also a news come that it is going to be hiked by kind of 50 rupees per cylinder. So things are also not good in India, but so things are also not good in India like it is in the China, or kind of only China is kind of feeling the good in this situation. Also USA is feeling, but USA is far kind of away from all those kind of crisis that is happening in the Asia. So that's why USA cannot feel the same way like all those countries are feeling like kind of Bangladesh, India or Pakistan.